How do I write about the line graphs in the IELTS Academic Writing Task 1? Well, in this video, we're going to show you how with a little help from my hand-drawn creation. Watch till the end where I'll give you a chance to write your very own body paragraph based on the ideas I've given you, and I'll give you feedback in the comments. And have a go. Can't wait to read your work. Hi guys, in this video, we're going to show you how to write the IELTS Writing Task 1, the line graph. So let's make a line graph for you. The number of births recorded in 3 countries from 2010 to 2020. On the y-axis, we'll have birth in millions, as you can see, and on the x-axis, the years. Okay, so let's put some countries on there. Let's have the UK. We'll have that relatively stable with a little dip. We'll try Japan with a dramatically falling birth rate and then leveling off and then recovering slightly. And then we'll have India, which is a growing birth rate country. All right, sweet. Now, let's look at a question. All right, let's say the line graph below shows the number of births recorded in 3 countries from 2010 to 2020. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Now, this is the same in every single IELTS Writing Task 1. It always asks you to summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons every time. So that means it's good practice to always remember in every IELTS Writing Task 1, you need to summarize by select, report and compare the main features. So basically 3 things with the main features: select, report, and then compare them every single time, every single IELTS Writing Task 1. So let's have a look. What are the main features? So the first step we need to is step 1, understand the graph or the text. So let's have a look at it. So here we can see that it's a line graph, and we can see that it shows the number of births recorded in 3 countries from 2010 to 2020. So we look at the y-axis and we see that this is births in millions, and we can also see on the x-axis it is the year. So we know that the UK line is green, the Japanese line is orange, and the purple line is India. So if we look in the year 2010, we can see that 7 million babies were born in Japan, 5 million were born in the UK, and 3 million were born in India. Okay, so by looking at the axes and the title, we now know and understand the graph. The next thing we need to do is we need to plan, and we need to find the main features that we're going to talk about in our essay. So the first thing that we can see in these main features while we plan is we can see, okay, let's have a look. We can see that in India, the birth rate increases every year. In the UK, the birth rate is relatively stable apart from a dip in 2015. And Japan's birth rate drops nearly every year apart from a little uptick at the end. But look, there we have our 3 main features. Okay, so now we have a plan. Now we need to write our introduction, and we need to paraphrase the statement that you can find here at the top of the graph. Okay, so let's have a look at our statement that we need to paraphrase. The line graph below shows the number of births recorded in 3 countries from 2010 to 2020. And there we can see our graph. So the first thing we need to do, let's paraphrase. The line graph always stays the same. You don't need to paraphrase the name of the text. Next thing you need to do is get rid of below, because it won't be below in your essay. Shows, this is in every single IELTS Writing Task 1. It usually says shows. Just change it to either illustrates, depicts, represents, or gives information about. Next, the number of births recorded. We can change the number to the amount of babies born, or even the birth rate. In 3 countries, we could say in 3 nations, or we could say what the names of the countries are. We know it's the UK, Japan, and India. From 2010 to 2020, we could say in the 10 years between 2010 and 2020, or between the years 2010 and 2020. So we put all those together and we have our paraphrased introduction. The line graph depicts the amount of babies born in the UK, India and Japan in the 10 years between 2010 and 2020. So we have our introduction now paraphrased. So now we need to write an overview which summarizes the main features that we have already looked at, which is India's birth rate increases every year. The UK birth rate is relatively stable apart from a dip. And Japan's birth rate drops early every year. Let's have a look at how to write the overview. So the best way to write an overview in any of the different texts in the IELTS Writing Task 1 is to make sure that you don't use actual data from the graph, like don't actually say numbers, just give an overview. So that's why it's called an overview. Give a summary of the main trends or the main features. So as you know, in this graph, we've already identified 3 main features. So we just need to summarize them. The best way to summarize is to start with the word in summary, or overall, or even in general, and then just describe your main trends or your main features. For example, here it would be, overall, we can see that India's birth rate increases every year, the UK's birth rate is relatively stable apart from a small dip, and Japan's birth rate drops nearly every year. And that's it, that's your overview done. Let's have a look what it looks like. And now we're halfway there. Now we just need to write the body paragraphs where we're going to go into a little bit more detail. So now we need to write the 2 body paragraphs. We need to use specific numbers and vocabulary from the chart or graph. So I've decided to look at Japan. In Japan, the amount of babies born plummeted between 2010 and 2012. In 2010, there were 7 million newborns, but by 2012, there was only 2 million people born. The number of people born in Japan kept falling between 2013 and 2017, but at a much slower rate. There was a small recovery in 2019 and 2020, where there was over 1 million babies born. So this is our results after looking at our line graph and having going through the process. So this is about 110 words. The line graph depicts the amount of babies born in the UK, India and Japan in the 10 years between 2010 and 2020. Overall, we can see that India's birth rate increases every year, the UK's birth rate is relatively stable apart from a small dip, and Japan's birth rate drops nearly every year. In Japan, the amount of babies born plummeted between 2010 and 2012. In 2010, there were 7 million newborns, but by 2012, only 2 million people were born. The number of people born in Japan kept falling between 2013 and 2017, but at a much slower rate. There was a small recovery in 2019 and 2020, where there was over 1 million babies born. Over to you. This needs finishing. In the comments, please write the second body paragraph, either about India or the UK. We then need to check our work and move on to task 2. Good luck, and I will give you feedback in the comments. Don't be a passive learner, actually try and finish this essay in the comments. You only need to write about 50 words maximum. Please write about the UK or India and, talk about each little interesting part of data. Try to use line graph vocabulary such as the line goes up steadily, the line goes up dramatically, the amount of babies born exploded in this year. Seriously, do write it in the comments. I'll give you lots of feedback. Here is a picture of the graph and the question, so you can have a look. Pause the video right here so you can look and have a go at writing the next body paragraph. Watch one of these videos next. They're both really good. Good luck and smash those IELTS exams.